This My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Kinetic Performance, the makers of the Rolls-Royce of barbell monitoring technology, the GymAware. Guys, in season training, we rock the GymAware all the time for quite a few reasons. The first, of course, is just that, the ding. Every time the athlete hears that, they know that they're hitting exactly what we need from them at that moment. And when they don't hear it, it brings out that extra little bit of competitiveness within themselves. On top of that, that awesome ding ends out bringing together the athletes as well, pushing each other and getting each other to be able to hit numbers that they probably wouldn't hit at that portion of the year. And finally, of course, that ding helps us monitor, manipulate, and keep track of volumes and intensities so we can best dose our athletes during the season at the right time with the right amount. Guys, hop over to kinetic.com.au and check out what Evan and the team down there have, because this is absolutely a sensational product that's changed the way that we've trained our athletes. This edition of My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Valid Performance, the team behind the Nordboard, Force Decks, the Groin Bar, and Human Track. Guys, the most important ability for all of our athletes is availability, and that's the absolute goal of Valid Performance, is to provide solutions to performance professionals so that we can get the right information to make the right decision at the right time for the betterment of the athletes that we get to work with. To do this, guys, they have a wide range of validated products that focus on usability, and having been founded by the School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences at the Queensland University of Technology, they're extremely evidence-based and they're beyond transparent. I can tell you that our time using the Nordboard and being involved with Force Decks, we have been introduced to so many amazing people that have truly helped us become better coaches, have a better understanding, not just of the technology, but also what we're doing with our athletes. So make sure you hop over to valperformance.com today to make sure you check out what they got. It's going to make you better and to do better by your athletes. Hey everybody, if you enjoy the podcast and the content that it provides, make sure you hop over and check out the all-new Strength Coach Network. The Strength Coach Network is the combination of the CVA SPS community and the Rugby Strength Coach community, bringing you what is sure to be the internet's leading resource for continuing education for strength and conditioning professionals. Combining these two resources has allowed us to bring some of the best content from some of the best minds in the world together for your one-stop shop to better improve the continuing education for not just yourself, but your entire staff. Bringing together all of the lectures from the Rugby Strength Coach community, along with the lectures exclusively done for the Central Virginia Sport Performance community, and all the lectures performed at the Central Virginia Sport Performance Seminar, make this an absolute must for performance coaches around the world. The world-class lectures at the Strength Coach Network are not all that you'll see as well. The discussion in the forums and the support and the career guidance from some of the top practitioners in the world, from people all over the world, makes this an absolute must and a great place for you to network, learn, and grow as a performance professional. So hop on over to strengthcoachnetwork.com and use the code CVASPS, that's CVASPS, to get your 48-hour trial for only $1. We're sure you're going to find great value in the Strength Coach Network and are really excited to have you involved. So hop on over to strengthcoachnetwork.com and use the code CVASPS to check it out today. Hey, what's happening, everybody? DeMayo coming at you with this week's edition of My Thoughts Monday. Today, guys, got a little bit of stuff I want to get off my chest and talk about here, because I think that we're really at a crossroads when it comes to the evolution of the strength and conditioning coach, or the sport performance coach, or the high performance profession or vocation, or whatever we want to call it. And a lot of that is going to be driven around social media. I think, us old farts for a very long time have been kind of against it and have fought it and have tried to stay away from it. And it's something that I'm starting to hopefully embrace better and actually maybe understand a little bit. I don't, but I'm trying. And the part that I think that I have the hardest part with is the social aspect of it. Because I think that all too often we look at what goes on there, the older guard here, and a lot of it is just like opinions being spewed all over the place from people with minimal actions or suggestions following. And I think that that's why I need to take a minute here before I get too far into this and talk about people that are doing the exact opposite. You know, if there's not a job, field, profession, vocation, whatever in the world that's perfect, right? Everything that you're going to do is going to have some sort of just issues, uncomfortableness, problems, whether it be pay, security, hours, conditions, whatever it may be. And of course, those are different everywhere in the world, right? So we have our fair share, and these have all been well documented. But I think that when we start to talk about these things, we need to start looking and acting more like some of these people who are trailblazing ways to help us sort of mitigate these and protect ourselves and move everyone forward. You know, and I'm going to give you two examples. You know, the first is Brett Bartholomew. You know, like, Brett's a good friend of mine. Brett's an awesome human being. You know, Keenan Robinson calls him the salt of the earth. Like, he is a sensational dude who identified problems. You know, coaches, we don't know anything about investments, or we don't have backup plans, right? And when the inevitable happens, when coaches lose their jobs, we're kind of just out on our asses and don't have anything set for security. And he's talked about this for a hot second. Like, this isn't something that he just all of a sudden talked about a week ago and then dropped his course. Like, Brett and I have been talking about this for, if not 24 months, at least 18 months. So this is something that he's been looking at, and there's been an issue that he identified and that he's now provided us, maybe not a complete solution, but an educational tool to allow us to better ourselves for these situations, to get better and improve ourselves. Oh, and I can hear you right now. Oh, yeah, but he's doing it to make money. Well, you know, as the Joker said, man, if you're good at something, never do it for free. Like, you can't be mad at the man for doing all the work, finding something that can be exceptionally valuable, and asking for compensation for it. Really, it's the prime example of what he is saying that we need to do more of, right? Finding secondary forms of income where we can take care of ourselves if something bad happens. But, you know, I digress with that. So cheers to you, Brett. You identified a problem. You provided assistance in order to show people a solution. That's big time. And how about Bob Alejo? I don't know about you guys, but if I read one more tweet about Bob talking about how we needed to have better ways of being evaluated and having a strength coach in administration, I was probably just going to start pulling every one of my gray hairs out, which, if you can't see, is a lot of them. And I love Bob. Bob Alejo has done more for this field and more for strength and conditioning than I ever will in my entire life. And you know what he went out and did? He did it. He got a position created out in California to be an AD, to look over those things, to do what he's talking about, to start to solve the problem that he had identified. He's leading by example. A guy who's been there basically since the inception of this profession is still driving the profession forward because he's identifying problems that are going to impact all of us for our entire careers, and is trying to find ways to not just point at them, but to correct them and to better everything. I mean, what more can you ask from a man? So you know what, Bob? Cheers to you too, brother. I appreciate you. Brett, Bob, I can't thank you guys enough. Keep kicking ass, man, because you guys are doing stuff that's going to help all of us. Even us old farts here in our 40s trying to figure out a way to continue coaching, all the way down to these 18 to 22-year-old kids who are now just starting their internships. Which brings me to my rant. Social media is great. It allows me to connect with hundreds of people. As a matter of fact, it's been well stated over and over again that probably 90% of the coaches that I've been able to bring in for the seminar to be presenters, I've contacted through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, one way or another. Just about every presentation I find for the Strength Coach Network has been through Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Almost all the podcasts come through Instagram. So it's awesome, dude. It connects people. It brings people together. It allows you to share thoughts. It also allows you to get on a soapbox and just chirp about stuff. Here's the problem with that. Let me give you an example. There's been a huge, I don't know if huge is the word, but there's been an interesting amount of volume of discussion on the role of interns continuously on the Twitter sphere, talking about whether or not they should be paid and this, that, and the other thing. Huge shout out to Alan Bishop, too, for this. He put a great thread up. Couldn't agree more with my man. You should check that out. See what he was saying, because I think a lot of us old heads see things very similar to Alan. You know, but talking about how, like, interns need to be paid and basically saying it's slave labor. I mean, come on, bro. First of all, you choose the internship, so there's that. And I think getting into this whole paid thing is a rough spot to run down. But we can discuss that on another show. What I want to talk about with that is simply this. Like, if you're going to use this platform to discuss a problem, and that's important, right? Don't get me wrong. Issues need to be pointed out. Things that are wrong need to be brought to the forefront so people understand that there is something wrong. I mean, maybe it's not like the world's biggest social injustice that's going on, but still, it's something that should probably be corrected, right? That needs to be put out in the public's view. It needs to be put in front of coaches. It needs to be brought to administrators' attention. And if Twitter's the best way to do it, then so be it. But what isn't the best way to do it is to sit here and complain and whine and talk about how this is such a dramatic problem and say we need to pay interns, but you still take interns and you don't pay them. What? What? Really? So you accept people to work for free, but you have a problem with people having to work for free? Bro, come on now. You're not part of the solution here, dude. You're part of the problem. And I can hear you right now. Well, Jay, you take interns. Sort of. Not really. But I also have a second job that I keep so I can pay my part-time assistant twice. You want to talk about finding ways to do things to help pay interns? You can't find a gym in your local area to get them some extra work so that they can get paid? Yeah, you're not paying them, but you helped them find a job. Yeah, we're not paying our assistant as much as he should be paid. He's a gunner. Dude's a straight gunner. He should be full-time working like a high major freaking revenue sport. Like, the dude's a gunner. But I keep a second job so that I can pay him more, so that I can help him get through this, because I did it without it. So don't sit here and tell people what they should do and what the problem is if you're not willing to be part of the solution. Because again, if you're not coming here with solutions, all you are is just being part of the problem. You're just stirring the pot. And if you're just stirring the pot, who cares? I don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Because the people that know, and the people that are in the know, and the people that are actually doing the work and have been through it and are trying to correct things and are trying to give solutions are the ones that are telling you why things are the way they are and why we're trying to make it better. So use it, sure, to point out problems. But don't just dig. Know what you're digging for. Come with a solution. Be more like Bob and Brett and try to help people get better. Try to help fix these problems. Don't just sit there with your Twitter fingers and point out, this is wrong, that's wrong, the other thing's wrong, everything's bad, the sky is falling. Well, you know what? Then get over it. Because if you're not going to provide a solution, or not at least give an idea for how we can make things better, then dude, it doesn't work. And saying that people have money, that doesn't cut it. Because they don't. Whether they do or they don't, they're not willing to spend it. That's a whole other topic for another day. So yeah, man, communicate, reach out, talk with people, share ideas, grow. Make the field, the profession, the vocation better tomorrow than it is today. But if you want to start throwing beef out there that there's problems with this, that, or the third, come with some answers too. Or at least ask, how can we fix this? Don't just sit here and be like, this is all garbage. Because at the end of the day, you're the one sleeping in the trash can if you're not fixing the problem. As always, guys, appreciate everything you do for us here at Central Virginia Sport Performance. We'll be back next week with another My Thoughts Monday. I will see you then.